So
definitely.
I mean, congrats to Kobe though on that.
Definitely, sure. I think the best time we could have seen that between Kobe and LeBron is when he was number 8.
Yeah,
that would have been the best time to see that in its most potent competitiveness. Mm-hmm. But of course, time is
Father time.
Exactly.
But I mean, at the end of the day, Kobe will still be one of the greats to ever do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people have a lot of Kobe hate just because he was who he was.
Right.
He didn't try to hide who he was. He was very arrogant. A lot of people say, "Oh, he always complained when he was on the court." Same thing LeBron does.
Yeah.
Every time he don't get called, it's like
I hate LeBron way worse than Kobe.
Yeah. So, I mean, end of the day, this man is great at what he did. He's going to be honored for it, and I think that's.
Do you remember when they made when Kobe first retired? They made that "I Hate Kobe" commercial. Everybody was singing.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was.
I used to love the Kobe Sprite commercials too. He was the first really person they pushed with the Sprite before LeBron kind of took it over. So yeah, Kobe used to have some amazing Sprite commercials too, and some nice shoes to go along with it too. So
definitely.
So yeah, I think we're that's just a little bit on the end with the happenings of the NBA with McGrady being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and now we learned that Kobe is going to be getting his jerseys retired, and then I'm pretty sure he's going to be a definitely surefire Hall of Famer. So in a couple of years, we'll be seeing him.
Oh, definitely
be inducted as well.
You know what? Quick question before we end this segment. How come it takes so long to do Hall of Fame?
I think you have to be. I know in the NFL you can't play. I think it's after 4 or 5 years you become eligible to go. Okay. But it's a committee that votes. You have a pool of people that's in consideration, and then you have a certain amount that you can take per year. But yeah, I would always thought that right after you retire you could go.
Especially if your legacy already is shown. It's not like they can build it. I mean, I guess.
Then that's why sometimes you hear them say first ballot. Because sometimes you may not get it the first time around.
That's true. Because I think they said, what is it? Terrell Owens, I think. Mm-hmm. He's been just missing the end
just
of the
missing it, and you see how they keep pushing Barry Bonds back. Well, he got a lot of scandal and stuff.
Yeah, he has a lot that
went
get
on
over
with him with the steroids and breaking that Hank Aaron record. But they keep pushing him back to not get it to him too. But I feel like if that player's, has shown over the course of his career Hall of Fame worthy numbers and stats and everything in between, he's created some legendary moments. So I think you shouldn't have to wait to do that, because you never know, life goes by, and I would want to be there for my Hall of Fame speech, because sometimes you have players and stuff, they pass away due to different things, and then sometimes their families have to enshrine them in. But I would rather to go ahead and do it while they're here to do it. Not saying that I expect Kobe to go anywhere anytime soon, but I mean, we don't have control of that part of life.
Definitely. So. You made me think, going back to another sport, going back to wrestling with the Ultimate Warrior. That was the year he was finally getting inducted. And then it just so happened
the next night or 2 nights he died.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it's like you said, and I think with wrestling, they take up to 10 years to actually put you in the Hall of Fame for something. Mm-hmm. So that's just, saying that, not knowing when your time will be. And it's amazing that it took them, 10 years to put Ultimate Warrior in, and it wasn't until after they declared him in that we know that he would pass. So it was like if they would have tried it any other year, he possibly could have still been here, but it's just like you said, time. It's something that we never know. So, but we just, we know that Kobe's going to get in there, and we're just looking for good things for him.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna end this part of the segment. Coming up, we're gonna get into Week 2 NFL picks. We know CJ crushed it in Week 1, 12-3 versus my 5-10 record. So I'm on the comeback trail. So don't worry if I overtake him next week. You'll know why. But coming up, we're going to hit on the NFL Week 2 picks. This is Sports Moods, 2 Moodies.
1 Duty.
Sports.
We'll be right back, guys. What's going on, world? We are back. I'm C Moody here with
D Moody.
Sports Moods. 2 Moodies.
1 duty.
Sports. We have hit everything from this past week with week 1 in the NFL, week 2 in college sports, the WWE Monday Night Raw, and Tuesday Smackdown Live. We've actually got into some other sports with tennis overcoming the U.S. Open, with some baseball talk. Shout out to the Cleveland Indians 21 win streak. Also into basketball and football with, Randy Moss going into the Vikings Ring of Honor. Tracy McGrady going into the Hall of Fame. Kobe Bryant's jerseys being retired. And now, since we have already covered week 1 in the NFL last week, talking about our records and our predictions, I'm on top right now. But now we're going to go into week 2, and anything can change in this week because the season is young.
It is very so young. Right now, CJ, for those keeping track of it, he is at 12-3 right now. Awesome start. I'm at 5-10.
It's all right.
So I got some work to do, but you play to win the game, as Herman Edwards would say. So I'm still in it, and I'm still going to play to try to win. So this week, Thursday Night Football, Houston versus Cincinnati. Both of these teams on a short week after both of these teams lost on Sundays, looking for their first win of the season. I picked Cincinnati to beat Baltimore last week. You picked them to lose, which you were correct. I was wrong. We both picked Houston to win last week. We were both wrong there. So, how do you see this coming out, Mr. 12-3?
I believe that Houston's finally going to get that emotion push that they didn't get last week. Now, I see the Bengals as a better team than the Jaguars. So, by the numbers, at least from last week, I wouldn't expect the Texans. The Texans to come, to beat the Bengals. But I feel like they're going to put it together this week, and this is where they're going to get their first win.
The thing with Cincinnati, you can't play no worse than what you played last week. And I want to say, is this a home game for them?
I'm not sure.
Who's at home, because I think that's going to play a big part on as to who I decide to lean towards. I do want to see a momentum push from Houston, given all that they've experienced with Harvey, and the hurricane and all of that. And I think last week was just a stale performance for them in the first half, and then we saw Deshaun Watson come into the game.
Yeah. They are going to be at Cincinnati.
They're at Cincinnati. So short week at home versus short week playing at home, traveling on the road. I'm going Cincinnati to win this game. Hopefully they won't let me down. I'm hoping AJ Green comes alive. I'm hoping Andy Dalton has a better performance than what he had last week. I do remember last year, before Andy Dalton got injured, what ended up happening was when they played Cincinnati on a Monday night game, and Houston's defense went in there and shocked the Bengals. So it turned up being J.J. Watt was talking a lot of trash, talking about, you call him the Red Rifle, that Red Rifle really wasn't hitting on nothing tonight, and just throwing little shots at him. So I think Andy Dalton may have that itch in the back of his mind, and I think he's going to have a better game than what he did last week, and they get that first win.
Okay. So I'm going to go in the next game that I got listed up here is Bills versus the Panthers. Who do you have?
I gotta go with the dab man himself. I gotta go with Carolina to win this game. Buffalo did look pretty good. I think it's gonna be a close game. Tyrod Taylor's pretty good. Buffalo did some good things with McCoy last week. Yeah. So I think Carolina's defense is gonna have to try to focus in on how to stop LaShawn McCoy and making sure that he is limited as much as possible. We do know Tyrod Taylor can make some things happen with his legs and his arm as well. But I still think at the end of the day, Carolina will reign supreme and win this game.
This is going to be hard because the Bills didn't really have much of a competition last week in the Jets. The Panthers, But they played the 49ers last week.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't really have much competition either. So this will actually be competition between the two. I kind of want to lean on the Bills, but I'm gonna have to go with the Panthers on this one too. I'm gonna have to go with you now. Most of the times now, it's not that many times when me and you together.
Yeah, but certain things is just, a dead clock is right twice a day, as Stephen A. Smith says. So there's gonna be times where, we may have to agree.
Right.
And then there's gonna be times where we have to agree to disagree. Could be one of these options right here with Chicago versus Tampa Bay. This is Tampa Bay's actually their first game. They were postponed due to Hurricane Irma last week hitting the Florida area. And then once again, we do want our hearts go out to all those affected by both of the storms, Irma and Harvey. Again, just hoping that you guys can survive this and get through it. And
definitely,
hope everything turns out well for you and trying to get your lives back in order.
So for me for this game, Jameis Winston, Buccaneers. I'm going with the Bucs.
I am too. I'm going with Tampa Bay too. I like Jameis Winston. Got Deshaun Jackson there this year. I'm hoping he's having a good breakout year too. Chicago's a good team. They played Atlanta pretty tough last week, and they got this cool running back that's coming up named Cohen. So Cohen's did some good things last week too. But my pen top just went flying across the room. So I don't know if that means I need to change my pick or not.
Hey, it might.
But I'm going to stick with Tampa Bay on this for them to win that game.
Because, last year, even though they didn't really have a great season, they were coming up on they were getting better towards the end of the season for the Buccaneers. So I kind of feel like their momentum would kind of build over from this year. I'm not going to try and use the hurricane as momentum kind of thing because that didn't work for me last week. So I'm not saying this is why they're going to win. I'm saying I just feel like they're still building from last year. And like you said, they got Deshaun Watson, you said? Deshaun Jackson.
I always
was
mix
about to
those
say
two names up too.
I don't know why we do that, but yeah. So that should help the team even more. So we're both agreeing on the Bucs.